A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20, soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive?
The world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure? Murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadow Play in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus. Available where books are sold.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. I'm Sean.
I am Anthony.
I'm Ray.
And we are here to do our top horror lists for 2021. I kind of felt that out because, previously we do top movies, top 10 lists, however you want to say it. This is just going to be our favorite horror media from 2021. And I think the reason for this is I think we're going to maybe do, like, I have my top 10 film list up on my letterbox. But there's so many other things. Like, there's two shows that I really wanted on the list. And if it's a top 10 film list, I don't want to make that concession. So that was really kind of the impetus for me. Because they're both like really, I don't know. And then there's a novel and there's a bunch of stuff. So try to get creative with it. Guys, how you been?
Good.
Fucking solid gold.
Solid gold. We are recording this on December 26th, 2021. So, Anthony.
Yo.
Hit me with your list, your top horror for this particular year, 2021, year of our Lord.
I will hit you with my best shot. And here I go, firing away. I'm very busy. You guys have noticed I've had a brief absence from the show. Raising a kid, best part of my 2021 by far. And so the big one that I saw this year, and it surprised me, and I've even bad-mouthed wanting to watch the film, Candyman 2021. Holy shit, I was completely blown away by this film. It completely subverted my expectation. Was not expecting what I got at all. Completely well acted, totally well acted, beautifully shot. I mean, there's some fucking scenes in this movie that are gorgeous to look at. I mean, Let's start with the opening credits.
Yeah. Yes.
Upside down, just the oh my god,
skyscrapers in the fog.
Yeah, exactly. And what it represents. I mean, it's fucking fantastic. And Jesus, I've said, you guys know this line. I implore you to go watch it. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now, and we would love to fucking hear your thoughts on it. Please chime in on any social media platform. But no, this movie, I'm gonna say it, this is my top. This is the top film for me of 2021. Now, I've had a very small group of films that I have seen, and unfortunately I'm not going to talk about the majority of them because they didn't beat my expectation. However, Candyman, definitely high. It is, it's the apex for me. It's number one for me this year. Loved it. Have you guys seen the film?
Yes.
I've not yet.
I'm not going to spoil it for you then. Like I said, I implore you to go watch.
I was very much looking forward to it. I just need to get a chance to see it. That's all.
Let me suggest, Ray, do what I did. Rewatch the original and then watch that. So I watched the original one night, and then the next night I rented the new one and watched it, and I was very glad that I did.
Okay.
I remember renting it from the Red Box, and I hung on to it for about a week. I'm like, I could have just paid for this fucking thing. And then I was like, you know what? The price finally went down on it to like $14, and I just struck while the iron was hot and was like, okay, let me bring this fucker home. And I got it, and I sat down and watched it. Fucking floored by it. Loved it. Every moment of the fucking movie. And there was one little piece towards the end where I was kind of like, this is a bit silly, but it wasn't enough to take away from the film. Again, beautifully acted, beautifully shot. The script was fantastic.
Yeah.
Nothing bad to say about this film whatsoever. Fucking loved it. So
Yeah.
that's my film of the year.
It is definitely the only sequel I can think of that makes the original movie better.
It's late in the year. Oh, I don't spoil it. Obviously, Ray hasn't seen it, but yeah, I mean, it touches on social issues right now that are relevant today.
Although I had heard like it was overbearing, and it is not. Like, I don't know.
So did I.
Like, yeah, like I didn't think it was overbearing at all. I didn't think it was preachy. Like, and also it's nothing that's not in the fucking first movie. So,
Yeah.
Or I
To say, I mean, the first movie, if I remember correctly, has a lot about race and about the neighborhood and about
yeah.
poverty and how it affects minority groups. Like I don't know, man. Without going too far into it, there's people out there who say that kind of thing, and then it bothers me because I'm like, you clearly didn't pay attention to some of the stuff you read in the past, like.
Yeah.
The way that people now, like some people out there will be like, oh, comic books, Marvel is getting too political. And I'm like, really? Did you not really read the comics that you read when you were younger? Because you just weren't for you. Or if you didn't get it because because that was so far away from you. And now it's you, and now it's your time, and you just don't understand that they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's hitting you in a way that now it offends you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well
I'll admit, I was terrified of watching a film that was going to be too woke and ham-fisted with that, and beat me over the head with it, and feed me a bunch of vegetables and make me feel like a bad person. And then that's not what I got. Like I said, it ended up being a fucking solid film. It's fucking amazing. I loved it. And like I said, I completely fucking take back everything I said about it before, because unfortunately I was just being an idiot and going off other things that I'd heard from other critics. And it dissuaded me, and I was like, I have to fucking give this thing, its fair shot. And I'm so glad I did, because it's so fucking good.
Yeah. And it also really, Nia DaCosta, the director, and obviously Jordan Peele, the producer, it really sets it up, whether or not anybody does this, but it sets it up where there could be more, and I would be fine with it, because it was just so. It was so well done. It was so I was just gratifying to like see somebody approach that, not only with respect to the original property, but an idea on how to, because see, the thing with the original, I'm always reminded of when I watch it is a really unconventional movie. Like, I heard somebody say that it's bullshit that they're, and this is always the thing with any kind of icon. Oh, they can't recast Tony Todd. It's like, fuck
probably
you.
Me. It was probably
no,
me, so
it was not you. But it's like the same thing with, oh, you can't recast Doug Bradley. Okay, well then we'll never have another Hellraiser. So fuck off. Like, I mean, it's like these people aren't going to be interred in the fucking makeup, and but the other thing especially with Candyman, the original one sets up that somebody else becomes another Candyman. You know what I mean? Like, so by the end of the movie, spoilers, I mean, it's from 1992, Virginia Madsen is the killer, right? So the fact that anybody's like, oh, you can't do, it's like, well, they already did it in the original movie. So like, so are you so you're a fan of the original movie, but you're boycotting it. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It is a very odd movie, and it's a lot like Hellraiser, where, the first Hellraiser, Pinhead's in it for 10 minutes, maybe. because it's not the fucking point. So,
Yeah.
it's not till the third one where you could see the studio has their things on, and they're like, oh, we got to make him the next Freddy, and it fails. It has its moments, but it fails. I've never seen the other two Candyman sequels, so I can't speak to them. I would imagine there's no reason to watch them now. I don't know. I know Anthony has said there's some intriguing things about, I think it's the third one with the street gangs or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a street game that kind of worships Candyman. And,
yeah, like that's a cool idea.
And I think they even commit crimes like with hooks to try to keep his name alive. But
well, and like again, going
ultimately
back to the first movie, where like she's in the outhouse reading the the feces smeared wall. The guys come in from the gang and are like, "You
as you should,
Candyman." Yeah.
I hear you look for Candyman, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. You found it. Oh, I fucking love that guy. God damn.
In the future, I think it would be cool if we did one of those double feature episodes where we did a deep dive on both the first film and then the newer film. That'd be cool.
I think it'd be really cool. Just go super spoiler.
Definitely. So Ray, please jump on it though. I think you're gonna love it though, man.
I really think you'll like it. It's quality.
I want to see it in theaters. I just didn't get a moment to.
Yeah, same. I just saw it this week.
Yeah, like I said, it's available for home video now. I mean, it's a $2 rental from Redbox. It's worth your time though.
It's on streaming. I think it's on Prime. So
yeah, you can. I rented it for I think $4.99. So, but I will tell you, it would be worth just picking up the Blu-ray. I thought it was that good.
Yeah.
So
let's see
what else.
And for the for what Anthony brought up, if you are out there and you're thinking, you know what, I do want to find the most woke horror movie of 2021 that possibly is pointing a finger at me and calling me the bad guy. If you're a male, check out Lucky, because it does kind of do that.
Wait, but now we'll get to your best of list in a little bit, right?
Was that really a best of? I don't know.
I'm fucking with you. It was a good movie, but I definitely by the end felt like I was, I should probably.
You feel a little targeted. You feel
a little bit.
Is it all males or that guy, or is it anyone? Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Anthony, what else is on your list?
It's a video game, actually. Okay. And we were just discussing prior to the beginning of the podcast about how Nintendo just celebrated its 35th anniversary, especially as far as like the first several games that were released on it, Castlevania, a couple other properties, Zelda. One of those games was Metroid. So for those who followed that game throughout its tenure, you only get a game like maybe every 10 years. So this last one that came out was the first in continuity for 19 years.
Oh, wow.
And it is fantastic. So the game's title is Metroid Dread, and there is an element of dread in the game. In this one, you're actually hunted down by killer robots, and they show you die on screen when you're not able to get away from them. Samus will be pinned down and literally impaled by a giant spike and killed on screen.
Wow.
And it was like, what the fuck? So majority of the game is you running around, obviously getting power-ups as you do in most games. However, in this one, you're totally being stalked by these, Terminator-like robots that just want to kill you. So, as far as running into a new room, and like I said, it's a game that's the first game in 19 years. You have no idea what the fuck you're doing, where the fuck you're running. You're just literally frantically running around, terrified, trying to get away from these, soulless killing machines. No, this game is amazing. And I'm a big Metroid fan. And I mean, it's always had these it's always been like a step away from horror. You've always had these creatures that are hunting you down, trying to kill you and whatnot. And so this one's very alien, actually. It's very, very, very closely related to Alien, in my opinion. Whereas, the xenomorph is an unfeeling, unrelenting killing machine. And it's very similar in that aspect, where you are, stuck in the bowels of this, terrifying planet that, only wants to kill you and eat you alive. And here you are being stalked by these, again, soulless killing machine robots, which is something that we've seen in horror movies many times.
Yeah.
Not thousands, but we've seen this trope forever. And it's very interesting to see a company like Nintendo, who brought you Super Mario Brothers, and the worst thing that you see as far as death goes is Oopa Goomba, bounce against your leg, and now you're dead. So to see that, like really all these dark elements being brought into this franchise is very very exciting, and I, as a fan, am very, very happy and excited that the series will continue on. And like I said, this is the first time where I think they really drag in, like, directly. They bring in elements of horror from films to actually use in game, and it's fantastic. And I highly recommend it to those that have a Nintendo Switch. Please jump on Metroid Dread. It's fantastic.
Wow. So okay, a couple questions, because I know nothing about games, but so it's the first one in continuity in 19 years. Were there other Metroid variations that like were like out of continuity?
Yes. So they've had a couple that were just
like reboots or something?
No, they're like more like separate, like side storylines, but nothing that was part of like the main storyline, which started in what, 85,
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think the next one was 91, if I'm not mistaken. Don't fucking hang me if I'm wrong. And that was on the original Game Boy. 1994 had Super Metroid, which is like the pinnacle of that series, and so on. But like I said, this last one has had 19 years between
Wow.
direct storyline. Everything else that's come out in between has been like side stories and whatnot. Those games have been fun, but this is the first time where you're getting something that actually continues the lore, and it's fantastic. Yeah, I just used fucking the word lore.
No, dude, that's the right word. I'm curious, because it's really interesting to me. And I think it's really cool if like video games do that. So in other words, if you play the original Metroid and won it,
yes,
and then the second one comes out and you win that, so this is all continuing the story. And so I'm assuming somewhere there's some compendium written that kind of maps this out. I would be almost curious to read that more than I'd be, because I'm just not a gamer. So as much as this sounds awesome, I'm not going to play it.
So here's the thing, much like Castlevania, where you had, screen after screen after screen of, here's the story, this is what's happening, this is what has happened, this is what's going on next, here you go. This does none of that. So everything in the Metroid series is implied.
Okay.
So first game, I'm not going to go through the whole history, but you kill the end boss, which is a giant fucking brain in a big jar that's trying to kill you. You kill that, very sci-fi horror. And then the second second game, you go to their planet, you have to go kill all these fucking giant creatures. And then the next one is there's only one of them that survived, and now everybody's trying to get it and use it as a bioweapon. And then the next one, you're hurt, whatever. And then 19 years go by,
right?
And now you're being hunted. So,
that's pretty badass.
But it's cool. But all that stuff is implied. There's no cut screens. There's nothing that tells you that. You go into the game and it's implied. You're like, oh, this is what happened next. So we'll just continue. So it doesn't hold your hand as far as storytelling goes. So it's one of those things where it's very niche. And for those who were in the know, like you know what's going on already.
Right.
Therein lies the surprise for everybody that jumps into the new game. They're like, oh fuck, this is continuing this. Okay, now all right, I know that story. Let's go here.
Right. Huh. That's cool.
But yeah, it would be cool if there was some sort of, written down tome of information about it, because I think it would be fun. I think it would be a great space opera, but
Yeah, it seems like it would make a good comic or movie or, whatever, cartoon, something. I don't know. But also, I mean,
future project from Mr. Baker here. Who knows?
Well, also, I would imagine a lot of the gamers that would kind of take it away from them. So I could see the argument to not do that, So I don't know. I mean, but it definitely, I played the original back in the day and I loved it. And I've never really played anything since, because my video games never went past the original Nintendo. So, but it's cool to hear. I love hearing about that kind of thing in the gaming world.
And it's fun because it's not like the stuff that you see today where it's like, okay, I've got an assault rifle and I can see first person. Now I'm going to go shoot up a bunch of, civilians. Yeah. Like, that's just, I don't understand a lot of modern gaming because of that. And it's just, I don't like gun. like guns. Guns. I don't like guns. There, I said it.
What are you, some kind of socialist hippie?
Yes. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. This isn't that fun.
So what else? What else you got on your list?
My number one comic of the year, my number one comic series of the year, which has been The Silver Coin, brought to you by Mr. Adam Walsh via Image Comics, which is we've spoken about on this, so I don't want to retread on it too much.
Michael Walsh.
Michael Walsh. Brief synopsis. There's a cursed object that gets passed around to people throughout the ages. You're, much like the monkey's paw, you're granted something fantastic, but usually there's a really hefty toll that comes with it. And we're up to 7 issues now. It is fucking incredible. Beautifully illustrated. The stories, there's maybe 1 or 2 that kind of throw me off, but there's a lot of big names. You had Zdarsky, you had a bunch of fucking people that have jumped on this jumped on the series, and this Lemire, Lemire was on it. There's some amazing ones, but this one touches me in a special spot, because hail Satan, and it's fucking great. And moving on from one Satan to the next film on my list that I thought was pretty damn good that a lot of people kind of wrote off was The Conjuring 3. We did cover it on the show. We did a viewing, and everybody came in and chimed in. However, that's another film that hit me in a spot that was gave me the happies, because I like a lot of North American witchcraft lore and whatnot. And this time we get a satanic witch, which is just, like I said, it was right up my alley at the time when I watched it. I was consuming a lot of media at that time that was adjacent, and really happy to see something like that on screen, because you just don't see that stuff anymore. And I remember watching like the first Power, where there was like a satanic serial killer, which you don't get a lot anymore. So it was really interesting to see that not only this witch being used as a a conduit for Satan and demons, but again, it's that surprise where it's like, man, you don't get this shit anymore. We're like, the enemy is, or the big bad in the film is the devil. Ultimately, it's something. Yeah. So it's something you don't get, and that Darren led what Darren was a surprise, and I enjoyed that little surprise quite a bit. So that's just another movie that I really enjoyed. PG-13, has a couple cutaway kills in it, but overall enjoyable. If you enjoy, I don't want to say this, but if you enjoyed the camp of the second one, you'll love this one. But I hated the second film. Is what it is, whatever. But the third one I enjoyed quite a bit. I enjoyed that one right up there next to the first one. So
that's I feel like the third one is definitely more akin to the first one.
But those are my tops of the year. And for the stuff that I have recommended, please go look. If you haven't seen it, go spend your money and enjoy these things that we're pushing on you like dope, because it's good dope. Who wants to go next?
Ray.
Yeah. Okay. I have what I did is kind of broke things up into categories.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, let's start this way because this is the way I wrote it, so it just makes sense. Slasher movies. The Fear Street movies. I really like those. I liked them all. I didn't even mind the third one. I know people didn't like the Cold Travel Back, but I thought it was interesting. The first one really surprised the shit out of me how much I liked it when I first saw it. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did, and then when I sat down and watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, these are like the best neo slashers since the first Scream movie." And I mean, just the brutality of some of the kills, like the sandwich cutter, just really surprised the shit out of me. Like, just like holy shit. And then the second one, man, there's that point where that kid becomes possessed, and like he comes upon the other campers, and they're kids. They're kids. They go for it, man.
He kills them all with an axe.
Yeah, and that kind of like brutality, and like that's what you expect from a slasher. That's what you want. You don't want someone to pull back. You don't want someone to be like, oh, we're not gonna show this, or like we're gonna have him walk past. No. He's gonna they're gonna be dead, and then we're gonna go on to the next scene, and we're gonna keep going. But yeah, I just really enjoyed all of them. I didn't even, and I love the fact that they decided to not only make one but three, and just consecutively like do this thing of like, okay, here's the first one. Another week we're gonna throw out the next one, and then the next week we're gonna throw you out the next one.
Yep.
At first I was a little bit disappointed that it was on a streaming network, that it was on Netflix. But once I saw all of them, I thought it made a lot of sense, and I didn't mind it at all. It did give them an opportunity to present it in a way that, like, I think people would have. It was easier for more people to digest and get through. Whereas I think sometimes, especially with movies, that when you make something and you put it on the screen, interest just degrades over time on anything. And you put out a movie, and the first one is a hit movie, and maybe you make a misstep or something a little bit in the second movie, or you just show something that someone doesn't like, and they're probably not going to get around to that third one. Whereas this way, I mean, it's right there, it's convenient, you just press a button on your remote, it opens up an app, you go to it, you select it, you watch it, and you're done. And then the next one comes out, and you go, okay, let's go ahead and sit down and watch that next. So it can hold a little bit, it can hold the interest a little bit more. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's an argument to be made there that then it's not quite the cinematic experience, but I don't know, I still enjoy them. I think that if someone did if like Netflix did like their own theaters, like they talk about doing, and they want to do something for like maybe Halloween next year or something, or in the future, where they decide we're going to release all the Fear Street movies, and you just come, and we're going to do this whole big marathon that you can sit in a theater and watch the whole thing. Like literally, first movie's going to end, we're going to start the next one, or we're going to somehow string them together and edit them so they're all just one big film. I'd go see it. I'd give it a shot. I'd be like,
I would too.
This would be a lot of fun. Much like, I mean, you and I went to that experience of Cinespia did the thing of they showed Kill Bill volumes 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
And they literally gave us like 5-10 minutes, and then boom, right into the second movie.
Yeah. And
I mean, that's pretty close to what originally Tarantino envisioned. Like, because apparently they're supposed to be one movie, but they were like, a 5-hour movie? No, man, we know we're not going to make people sit through that. And so it broke up into 2 movies. And Fear Street feels linear enough that you could continue. I mean, sit there and watch it as a big marathon. Plus, I did enjoy the twist. I did.
I did too. And I'll tell you what, the thing about so I feel like we've been seeing shows that are basically like 8-hour movies, right?
Yeah.
So it's dissolving the kind of barrier between the shows, between what is a show and what is a film. I feel like this did it from the other end, where really these are 3 movies, but the way they released them and the way they played, it felt like a show.
Yeah.
And really in Britain, there's seasons. So like Luther or something like that. The first season is or Sherlock. The first season is 3 hour-and-a-half long episodes. So it's basically 3 movies. So we are starting to see this dissolve. The argument can be made. True Detective season 1, it was an 8-hour movie. Twin Peaks: The Return, it was a 16-hour movie. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's just obviously not many people would sit through a 16-hour David Lynch movie. I would, but I would need cocaine. So.
But my so that was my favorite. My runner-up. This might upset some people. No slam on that last Halloween. The last Halloween movie was enjoyable. I do fear though they're going, because that first one feels a little bit more tinged in reality, more grounded. And with this second one, they kind of have been they're moving away from that. So it feels
Maybe.
like they're I'm a little bit worried about like the possibility of they're trying to do fan service for people that have liked all the films
Yeah.
in the oeuvre. My runner-up was actually There's Someone Inside Your House, which I thought was a great little slash movie.
Was that the one that I watched two in a row? Was that the one with the 3D printed masks?
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, so talk about it. I liked it. I had an issue with it, but I liked it.
You know, I had some, like I said, I feel like it follows the tradition well. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. And if you're paying attention in the first 5 to 10 minutes, you probably can figure out who the killer is from a mile away. But it has its own fun. It follows the pattern of a slasher. You know, it's these kids and there's somebody out there who has decided that he's going to make right all the wrongs of these other characters by killing them off. And whether it's because of the lies that they're the lie of their life that they're leading, or crimes that they haven't paid for, or whatever, it follows the pattern of 80s slashers.
Yeah, it totally does. And really the hook is that he kills them wearing a 3D printed mask of their face.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty fucking cool. So, you know, I and it fits the you're right. Both of these things, this is like, people would hate to hear this, but really, like, it's just the modern version of the Mutilator. It's just, the thing is, now it's
Exactly.
able to be put into the mainstream, and that's only going to continue. I feel like, especially, I can't wait for this fucking Mutilator sequel. I just can't fucking wait for it. But you know, it's back then it wasn't going to get a big audience. Now, after 30 years of it bubbling in the you know, the broth of pop culture, you can get away with doing a slasher movie on Netflix. What else you got?
So I guess, let's see. Well, I guess my next category would be horror comedy, which is kind of a tie for me. I'm gonna reverse what I did before. The runner-up was Willy's Wonderland. It's a lot of fun. It's very focused. It does the thing with Nick Cage, which I think people are starting to notice what to do, which is a little bit of a Keanu Reeves thing, which is put him on screen, have him be a badass, don't have him talk a lot. Have him gesture, have him kill things. It'll work out the best for you. And that's what it does. You know, he just puts him in this situation where he's inside of this place that is the if I remember correctly, serial killers took over the bodies of animatronic band inside of a
Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing, and they come to life and they kill people. And at one time they were wreaking havoc in the town, and the townspeople made a deal and were like, hey, what if we just give you someone? You can kill, we'll give you people to kill, just leave the town alone. And they were like, okay, cool. Deal struck. And this guy comes along and he's a badass. He's not going to let him kill him. He just keeps fucking him up. But I don't know. It's entertaining. It's a lot of fun. That being said, the two movies that I thought a little bit of a tie for me that I came up on top of that one were Werewolves Within and Slacks.
Oh,
Werewolves Within, it's great. The only thing I think that it probably would suffer from is that traditional horror audiences would probably have a problem with the way it's structured. It feels a little bit like a whodunit, like a murder mystery.
yeah, it's like an Agatha. I haven't seen it, but it's like an Agatha Christie-esque, like whodunit, right?
Without approach to telling that kind of story. So there's very little of werewolf on screen. There is werewolf on screen, but there's very little of it. And instead it makes it more about these people and about like the suspicion of a werewolf is making them all act evil, but act bizarre and act out against each
Right,
other.
right.
But it has some great humor. It's very clever. I don't necessarily think that the twist of who the werewolf is will surprise the shit out of anybody.
Well, don't
But
spoil it.
I won't. But I think it's a good time. I think it's a very good
Leonard
time.
Nimoy. It's
Oh,
Leonard Nimoy.
damn you.
And it's got some great it's got some great humor in it. It's got some fantastic humor in it. The other one that I really liked was I showed a presentation. I really liked Slacks, the Killer Jeans. It's so, I know you saw your face, Anthony, and it's the stupidest premise, but once you're sitting there watching it, you're like, this is great. Like, it's something, because it's just the most obnoxious people that live in our society at the moment. Like these one of the main characters is this like TikToker who's like known for her, and like she's gonna be there when they release their big fashion line, and the jeans kill her first, and you're like, this is fantastic. Yes, get her, evil jeans. But then it had this like neat like woke tie-in for the explanation for the jeans, and I was like, you know what, I still like it. I think it works better if you're not a person who likes if you're someone like me who doesn't like fashion and looks at a lot of it and thinks like this is really pretentious and it's very bougie, and like all the value that you put into fashion, and like, oh, this shirt is worth so much more than this shirt. If it just sounds like pretentious bullshit to you, this is the movie for you, because it really does. It really believes that, and it really gives a finger to the fashion industry. It is not kind to it, and it's a lot of fun. There's definitely moments that made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, my fashion sense doesn't go very far past Walmart attire.
Hey man, if that's what you want to rock, that's what you want to rock. That's fine.
$10 jeans.
Exactly.
Not me, Gucci all the way.
Ooh.
No, just kidding. What else you got, Ray?
Best Neo Giallo. For me, the runner-up was Malignant. It is fun. It is creepy. The premise is bizarre. The reveal is bizarre. It's got a lot of but it's bloody, and it's definitely got some good gore representation in there. But my favorite was probably Last Night in Soho.
Oh,
It's
solid.
Oh man, I just feel like I'm forgetting his name right now, but the director,
Edgar Wright.
But it feels like he knows his beats. Like he really went back, watched Giallos, went, God, that's good. Yeah, I like that. I mean, he knows how to use the colors. He knows how to frame shots. The beats he's hitting are all perfect. And even the red herrings he uses are so giallo, and they're so smart. And I just really enjoyed what he did. I'm happy to see that he stepped back into the thriller horror genre. I really look forward to seeing what else he'll come up with. Like where else like I've said for many, many years, ever since I saw wow, I'm blanking on the name of it.
Shaun of the Dead.
No, the double feature.
He had
that for
Don't. Yeah.
I want him to make that into a movie so bad.
None of them are ever going to make any of those movies, unfortunately.
Was like, because the movie that he's showing in that trailer is so much one of those 70s, late 60s, like I forget the name of that whole thing, but where like, films were being
Video nasty.
It's a very much
total video nasty. Yeah.
Love to see him make a video nasty.
Yeah.
Really do that, please. If you're listening,
I agree.
See that movie.
I agree, and put Anna Taylor-Joy in it, because that chick looks fucking hot, covered in blood. I don't know what it is, but damn. Anyway, sorry, that was weird.
Hey, that's okay. Um, just a couple more.
She's actually from the same alien race as Christina Ricci.
Oh, good call. Very good call. My what the fuck movies of 2021, because there was some what the fuck movies that came out this year. Runners up. There's two of them. Prisoners of Ghostland.
Yeah, it was great.
It's
It
good.
was great.
Fuck movie. You're just like, wow, what the?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, ooh, okay. And like just the setting, the costumes. There's so much
Everything.
that just makes you question how someone comes up with this. And I'm glad that comes up with that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just have
Dude.
to.
Ha! Fucking yeah! Fucking yeah!
I forgot about that.
Oh my god! I've been saying it for like 3 weeks since I watched it. I was literally like, "What the fuck?"
Another great stage performance. Just another one. Man, that is gold. You put him in front of in horror movies and he's gold.
Yeah, and also like, I mean, it almost is like Terry Gilliam esque in just the. It's like these settings. You're like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
Didn't think about that, but I think it appeals to me.
Yeah, it's why.
It's like a Japanese reinvention of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Are there midgets in this movie?
No.
No, small deformed children, but no midgets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
It's a weird one.
It's very good.
Other runner-up was the Untamed, which
I still haven't seen that.
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's so. The only way to say it is that because it's foreign. It has that foreign film sensibility of. Oh man. It takes itself seriously, but it does it well. And like, because I mean, it's literally a movie about people that are fucking an alien and enjoying fucking an alien, a tentacled alien. And it very much could very easily fall into the tentacle porn territory of anime, but it doesn't. And it is instead of like emotional and sad and gripping and I don't know. There's just something that like maybe it's because it's South American. Like, and the only reason I say that is because like it puts it. It's a what the fuck movie on par with. What is the name of that one movie? Something about the flesh. We Are the Flesh.
Oh yeah. The Mexican movie.
Yeah, which is another real fucked up and like. But in such an interesting way.
Yeah.
It is fucked up, and there's some stuff in there where like, I am watching this right now.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, you'd almost be embarrassed if the wrong kind of person walked up, like your parents or something walked up.
Well, because it looks like you're watching porn.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not. You're like, no, this isn't porn. It's too thoughtful and weird to be porn. And they're like, it looks like porn, and you're like, but it's not. And and someone could be like, is that his actual dick? Yeah.
Did that man just ejaculate on camera? It's porn.
It's porn. Exactly. But my what the fuck movies for best of it's a tie. It's a tie again. It is Lamb and Titanic. Oh man. I don't know. Maybe 2021 was just a weird year, but you have one movie that is about a couple who discover that one of their lamb have given birth to a hybrid lamb human child and decide in their grief and sadness of having lost their own child, we're going to raise this. We're going to raise this as our own. And hope that nothing bad goes wrong. Like nothing goes wrong with this. And then you have a movie. Oh man, Titanic is almost undescribable, or it's almost
It is. I'm going to touch on that one too. That's very high up on my list.
yeah, but it's body horror and sad and about strange connections and grief and oh man, like I think because they both run in that territory of like people trying to find something to make themselves whole and not being able to find it quite right or finding it in terrible ways that makes them so on par with each other in such an odd way. Like I'd probably pair them together. Like if you wanted to like really try and tackle movies that are what the fuck movies and just try to jump yourself into like, I'm going to watch strange movies on purpose. Hit these two up at the same time. Like literally start one and then just go right into the other one. They're going to feel different. One is going to feel a lot more violent and a lot more shocking. And the other one is paced and slow, but they're interesting movies.
I would do Lamb and then Titan.
Yeah.
I think that would be because I feel like as much as I like Lamb, Titan is the one like it just left me feeling amazing. Both times I saw it in the theater twice, like 1 week, and then the next week I went back and saw it again, and both times I left feeling absolutely amazing. So
be ready to
guys, I hate to do this. I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to depart. But
dude, don't worry about it, man.
Everybody who's listening, Happy New Year, and come back and listen to us more in the new year.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Have a good
Later,
evening.
Anthony.
Later.
So what else you got, Ray?
That can only be followed up with, and I'm almost done. My what the fuck moment of in 2021, and that's again a tie. The birth scene in Titanic, and the this is going to be a little vulgar, but I have no other way to describe it. And you know the episode, the side pussy in Brand New Cherry Flavor.
Fuck yeah. Ribcage vagina, as I heard it referred to by the creators, I believe.
No, but that side pussy is so weird.
I mean, they went there.
They totally went there, and I'm glad they went there.
And there was no escalate. Like, it's not like you could see that coming a mile away. That happens, and you're like, where are we exactly? What the hell? But that's what that show traffics in, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And then finally, other notable films for 2021. Things that I just didn't know what kind of category to put them in, but things that I liked, and I thought, you know what, people need to watch these. People need to check these out. Jacob's Wife.
Yeah. Yep.
And
that's in my top 10 films, which is on my letterbox. Yeah, that's in there. It's great.
Great horror actors on screen sharing a presence and doing a great job of it. And it's Fessenden and Barbara Crampton are great movie. And approaching it, I thought it was going to be all Barbara Crampton's show, and then I was surprised to see how much Fessenden was still in it.
Yeah.
It is about this partnership between the two of them, and I thought, this is great. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. Like, really surprised me. I'm sure when you're gonna go into further about, but Censure.
Yeah.
Just remarkable. It's really good. It's almost flawless. I said that. Now I can't even think of anything where I have a problem with.
I think I personally think it is flawless, but
oh, sorry, iPad did something there for a moment. There we go. The Power.
Oh, wait. I haven't seen that one.
It's on Shudder. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good watch. It's a pretty good watch. It's fun. It reminds me of like some of the like stuff from the early 2000s, like The Orphanage and some others like that. Devil's Backbone, kind of. Ooh. Yeah. And then the last is Come True.
Yeah, great movie. That's in my top 10 films as well.
More people need to watch that movie. It's so weird and unusual, and the that lead actress is magnetic.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Everything about it's great.
The magnetism of her and like how that adds that story. Like it's
well said. Very
well done. But yeah, that's it.
Good list, man. Good list. Okay, well, I'm going to do a list of 10, and these are not my top 10 films. Again, that's on my Letterboxd, and I'll probably also post that on either as a blog on thehorrorvision.com, or I don't know, maybe somewhere else. But so this is just the top 10, my top 10 horror of 2021. And we're going to start at number 10. And this is actually a last minute addition because I had Baraska, the podcast with Cole Sprouse, on there. And I realized, thanks to Anthony, that was not this year. That was last year. But that just goes to show that this year has just been one big, or the last 2 years are, you know, it's hard to really tell what's what. So number 10, Slasher, Flesh and Blood on Shudder. Holy fuck, this was the goriest thing I saw all year by about a million. David Cronenberg plays the wealthy patriarch of a family. It just, there's no other way to say it, a bunch of fucking entitled cunts. And he calls them all back to their island where they live. They literally live in a mansion on an island. And saying mansion doesn't even do it justice. Calls him back, him and his nurse, and basically says, look, I'm going to die. And somebody's going to inherit this shit. And he's just one of these survival of the fittest kind of people, business wise and in life. And he's like, so I'm gonna make you compete for it, and whoever's left standing is the heir to my fortune and the business. And then he literally goes and, like, as they're discussing this, you know, we're gonna tell him this is wrong. And then the nurse comes out. She's like, oh no, I just administered his end of life medicine. He's dead. They're like, wait, what? So he's dead, and then it just starts, and it is a series of tests and games kind of that just whittles them down, injures them, decimates them mentally, physically, emotionally. And then meanwhile, also, there is this gentleman, you don't know if it's a ghost or whatever, but it's a slasher, and it's just working its way through. Whenever it encounters somebody, it fucking mutilates them. And I mean, the opening kill, I think, of the first episode really tells you all you need to know about just how fucking gory this show is going to be. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a definite, like, who, you know, you want to know who the killer is, and it, you know, it's got to be this person. Oh wait, no, it can't be that, blah blah blah. Just really great, but just the gore was just unfucking believable. Like, they went for it and out of the park. Number 9, a film I just saw like 3 days ago. I didn't know anything about it. It's on Hulu. It's based on a book by Max Booth III. It's called We Need to Do Something. Sierra McCormick, who many people will know as Lizard from VFW. She's also forget the chick's name in the American Horror Stories, the anthology, the 2 episodes that take place in the murder house. She's the chick that ends up in the rubber suit. So it's her and Pat Healy, who is, you know, he's in the Innkeepers. He was in that show Them. I love both of them, but it literally just if you watch this movie, We Need to Do Anything, it's on Hulu. No, I'm sorry, We Need to Do Something, it's on Hulu. Do not read anything about it. Do not watch the fucking trailer. Just watch the movie. It starts this family walking into their bathroom, putting down a blanket, and it's basically like there's this horrible storm outside and there's tornado warning, so we're just gonna, you know, stay in here. And the husband and wife are having trouble, and And it becomes apparent that something besides a storm is going on. That's all I'm going to say. It takes place in one fucking room, and it just, I could not, like, it was one of these afternoon watches. I put it on expecting to take a nap because I was exhausted from work. I was riveted the entire runtime.
What is it called again?
We Need to Do Something.
Okay.
It is fabulous. It's so freaking good. I just,
I'm gonna go
man,
on to
it really it always makes me happy to find these like 11th hour, like, I just wasn't, I put it on not expecting it to be what, anything that was going to like be this impactful. Director Sean King O'Grady. Really great. Number 8. I'm going to touch on this briefly because Anthony already touched on it. Silver Coin, the anthology by Michael Walsh and a bunch of other. Michael Walsh is the through line. He does all of the art, and then Jeff Lemire, Kelly Thompson, I forget who else, but just kind of a rotating cast of writers. It's just there's an art to a horror anthology as a movie or as a comic, and this just slots in nicely with the best of them. So good. 7. As soon as we're done with this episode, I will be watching the most recent episodes of Yellow Jackets, and it is, oh my god, it's so fucking good. It's so good. There's, after tonight, I think there's 3 weeks left, 3 episodes left. They drop Saturday at midnight on Showtime. I subscribe to Showtime for this. I was using a friend of ours login, and it literally, it was a login that was active for years, and it must have just expired. Oh my god, I just can't say it enough. It's Juliette Lewis, it's Christina Ricci, Melanie Linsky, and oh my god, I talked about it on a recent episode, I think, that we did, where it's, it takes place contemporary now, and in 1996. In 1996, this girls' high school soccer team went to nationals, but they never got there because their private plane crashed in the wilderness and they were stranded for 19 months. Nobody really knows what happened. They've never talked about it after they came back. And so now you're dealing with, in the present day, there's somebody digging shit up, and it is totally event viewing. I look forward to watching it every week. I love it so much. Number 6, brand new cherry flavor, basically the 5th season of Channel Zero. There's just certain things that I just feel like were made for me, and this was one of them. There's so much David Lynch in it, but not in a bad, or like, it doesn't feel like it's leaning too heavily on him, or it's just, man, it is also its own thing. Yes, the ribcage vagina, I literally was like, what am I watching? That was definitely the what the fuck moment for me of the year, because I was, wow. But yeah, it's so good. I just love the texture of the show. I love all the performances, everything. It's just fantastic. 5, Psycho Gorman. Fuck. I mean, probably the movie I've watched more than anything else this year. I just loved it so much. It's funny. It's fucking gross. It's amazing. 4. So this is Bret Easton Ellis's The Shards. So this is a novel, but it's not a novel yet. He serialized this on his podcast, which you can subscribe to on Patreon. It's behind a paywall. I've been subscribed to his podcast since it was free on Podcast One. He's always been one of my favorite authors. And, I would listen to podcasts to hear him talk. Every episode, it's like a monologue, and then a guest that he interviews, and a lot about the current state of movies and Hollywood and this and that, fiction. And I didn't even realize when this started, the first episode of it, I didn't realize that's what was happening. And then, when it was, I think the second episode, this is going back into like fall 2020 when this began. And he's like, the next chapter of my, novel, The Shards, which maybe won't be a novel, maybe it'll never be published, whatever, but I'm going to do it, week to week here. I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. So this is like happening. I'm listening week by week to a new Bret Easton Ellis novel. It's fabulous. It's, I mean, none of his stuff is really horror as a genre. I mean, he's a literature author. It's not really genre, but dude, there is just holy shit. Is there some horrific shit in this? And it's about a group of people. It's him telling you what happened to him and his friends in 1981 when they were seniors in high school and at Buckley High in LA. And it has to do with a serial killer, briefly known as the Prowler, disappearing classmates, disappearing pets, where the bodies of the remains of those pets end up. And he landed the ending. The ending was fucking amazing. Unfortunately, the podcast has now excised. So those episodes are so when he would read it, it would be the first hour or so of the episode that week would be him reading, and then it would go into his monologue and his interview. And like this podcast is like, I think I subscribed to it for $2 or $3. So it's like the best money spent. But it's those episodes are no longer the shards part of it is no longer on those episodes. It looks like they have been removed. And I think that's because now he posted on social media a picture of the Galleys copy of the book. And I mean, the book is it's a 24-hour long reading thing. Like reading time, but the book looks like a telephone book. It's fabulous. I can't wait to get it and read it, like actually read it. I'm already listening to it a second time. Somebody in the Shards Facebook group, right when it finished, put up an MP3 and I downloaded it. So thank God. I don't remember who did that. I wish I did, because I would buy them a nice bottle of wine or something, because it's just, man, I love it so much. 3, another novel. This one though I read. This is Stephen Graham Jones, My Heart is a Chainsaw. Best modern slasher anything in 40 years, because, well, that's a bit much, but I mean in like 25 years, because it literally, like what we were talking about before, Ray, with how you can now just kind of like slot the slasher movie into a Netflix thing and make it something that, high schoolers are excited to watch. Like, that's not what Stephen Graham Jones did with this, but what he did with this was like bring the conversation about slasher movies into, like, it's going to be so much bigger than it is even at this point. And it's already brought him, I think he just leveled up like times 1,000 because of this book. And it's just fantastic. And then number 2, Titan. Blew me away. I don't even know that it's a body horror movie for sure.
Oh yeah.
There's murders in it. I don't know that it's a horror movie. I think the reason I debate on whether or not to include it, but I think the reason I did is the body horror. And yeah, I mean, if we talk about Cronenberg, stuff like Videodrome is horror, then I can't not talk about this. I loved it so much. I can't wait to own the Blu-ray. I pre-ordered it. I will watch it. I can't wait to show it to my girlfriend. I have no idea how she's going to feel about it, but I loved it. And then number 1, Censor, Prano Bailey Bond. Jesus Christ. Like, Prano Bailey Bond, this was this reminds me of Alex Garland and Ex Machina, where it's like, this is the first fucking movie you're directing. Are you serious? Holy shit. It takes people 2 decades to get here. So I just can't wait to see what she does next. It's so good. It's, God damn it. It's just, so yeah, there you go. That was my top 10 horror of 2021. So
I need to read My Heart is a Chainsaw.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, you'll fucking love it. Buy it on Kindle and put it on your phone, or I don't know. I bought it on Kindle. I'm gonna buy I need to buy a hardback just to buy it, but I'm just trying not to buy a lot of stuff because I'm gonna move this coming year, and it's just, I'm like very cognizant of everything I'm bringing into the house. But oh man, it's just so fucking good. It's so good, and you'll love it because you love slasher movies. I'm telling you, man. And it's not just that it's a great slasher. Like, there is a level. Like, this is the climactic sequence, the set piece is like Spielberg level, and there's a reason why I'm saying that too. But it is. It's like it uses something with Spielberg as kind of a backdrop, but also just he's got so many moving pieces that he's juggling, and it's perfect. Like,
Wow.
it was just. I read it in 3 days. It's something to behold. I could not put it down.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's you would love it. I do have to note for my list, I very cognizantly took off the black phone, which would have been, but the thing is,
We're
that
right here.
shit,
We're right here. Same.
that shit's not coming out until now. It was supposed to be February. Now it's like June or July or something. So
It's not till next year. Otherwise, it would have been on my list too.
yeah,
Like,
guaranteed it'll be on my list next year. But I mean, we saw it at a festival.
if you're out there, don't watch the trailer for the black phone. Just
No,
wait for it.
do not watch it. Do not watch. I couldn't. I literally sat aghast as it just basically does all the beats for the fucking. I'm like, you're kidding. Oh, I'm sure Scott Derrickson was just not happy with that. So okay, well, great list, and just thanks to everyone who listens, and we will be back in probably 2 weeks with another episode, and we'll talk maybe about the stuff we've seen and some of the stuff we're looking forward to. And I'm assuming Robert Eggers' name will definitely be mentioned.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but until then, for the Horror Vision Horror Podcast, I'm Sean,
I'm Ray.
and we'll see you later.
Oh,
Stop
and
with the thing.
And hope that he.
What are you doing?
It's this thing on the table. I can't. I'm sorry. I'll keep my hands crossed.
Come over and tie your fucking hands.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, I don't know why. I fidget.
That's okay.